Welcome back to Footballology, and welcome back to its only preseason Week 2 edition. Let's get into it. So, we're going to run down some of these games real quick. It's only preseason, but I told you guys back in the Week 1 review, the Patriots look like they're back. Now, granted, it was against a Philly team that I think is ultimately going through a Carolina Steve Wilkes kind of type thing where they don't have any identity. They don't know what they are. They don't know if they're going to come in. I'm really afraid of what's going to happen in Philadelphia. But still, the Patriots went out and did exactly what they were supposed to against a lesser opponent. They skunked them, 35 nothing, and that was with the backups. The Patriots, in my opinion, are back. It's only preseason, but the Bengals need Joe Burrow and some. Now, granted, Joe might end up playing this week in week 3, but Joe Burrow, as this team goes, is going to be because of him. If this team gets better, it's because of him. If this team struggles, it's going to be because of him. If they do struggle and he's not in the game, it's because he's not in there. So, but it's only preseason, and I really feel like that's the thing. The Bengals need Joe Burrow. The Washington football team, they are exactly where they need to be in this midst of the rebuild, but they need a quarterback. Ryan Fitzpatrick's not it. The backups that they have there are not it. Kyle Allen, and for some reason I can never remember the other backup quarterback's name. I don't know why, but they don't need those guys. They need to find themselves a quarterback, and there's some quarterbacks out there that could possibly find their way back to Washington. Maybe Cam Newton in New England. Who knows? Maybe there's a deal there. Who knows? But other than that, I think Washington, as far as an overall team, they're exactly on track to be a quality opponent and a really tough out. It's only preseason, but Kyler Murray looked off in this game. Patrick Mahomes looked off in this game, and it was just looked like sloppy football. But it's preseason, I get that, but this is the best time for you to try things, try to work on things, and try to work on that timing. And it never felt like it clicked for anybody. I personally, in my personal opinion, watching this game, it looked like Kyler Murray wasn't trying. It looked like he was just like, and he kind of came out and said, "Oh well, I'll go harder when it matters." It's like, bro, every rep matters, and if you're not playing like that, I'm not sure if I could trust you moving forward. But I think that's what honestly happened in this game. Everybody looked off. It was just like bad football all the way around, even with the starters being in the game. It's only preseason, but Buffalo looked like they're in midseason form. 41-15 against the Bears. They I guess they made the game faster for Justin Fields after he said that the game wasn't that fast. Yeah, he got slapped up in this game pretty good. It was crazy. But Mr. Trubisky had a little ego moment and went back and balled out, put up some big numbers, felt like a man for a day. But it's only preseason, and we know that he's not going to see that kind of action ever again. Hopefully, that means Josh Allen is healthy. So, but realistically, I don't see Mitch Trubisky doing that again. But that was his biggest thing. Like, we knew Mitch could blow up when he wanted to, but we also knew that when he was down, he was down. The Bears are going with Andy Dalton as a starter for Week 1 in the regular season, and everyone's kind of knocking him for it. But I think Matt Nagy ultimately is very weary of starting rookie quarterbacks. It's like, you put your hand on a hot stove once, you're never doing that again because you know the pain that it caused. And a lot of people make a good point though. This might be it. This might be his last hurrah. So, you're gonna go down swinging, or you just gonna go down and say, you're playing cautious, like he's not betting on himself, he's not betting on his guys. He's playing the safe hand right now and not pushing his chips to the table. So that really worries me because ultimately, if you play not to lose, you end up losing. You got to bet on yourself, and I think that's what's happening in Chicago. Other than that, I think Chicago is they're gonna be who they are until Andy Dalton doesn't do enough for them, and then here comes Justin Fields to hopefully save Matt Nagy's day. So we'll see, but it's only preseason. It's only preseason, but the Packers knew damn well they needed Aaron Rodgers, and that's why they fought for him. But realistically, I'm not even going to talk about the Packers because I think ultimately they're going to be deep in the playoffs because of A-Rod and the boys. But I feel like I'm eating crow a little bit. Not like quite, but it's only preseason. I'm telling other people this, but Zach Wilson did look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. He looked like he had some decent poise in the pocket. He actually looked like he was delivering some solid balls. And it looked like, from my understanding, what they want to do with the Jets It's the same thing that I think the Niners want to do with Trey Lance. Uh, Zach Wilson looked like he understands the system and he plays it to its strong suit. Side note, really quick fantasy tip. I think Tyler Croft might end up being a quality fantasy pickup because of the way the system is going to be ran. Corey Davis looks decent. Zach Wilson knows where his hot guys are at. He knows where his big names are at, and he looked like he's using it to his advantage. Got to give credit where credit is due, and like I said, he's taking care of business. It's only preseason, but I still don't trust Miami Dolphins offense. Now, granted, Atlanta, we don't know what Atlanta is. You can't sit here and tell me Atlanta has an identity. I don't know who they are defensively. They're hanging on to this past MVP thought of Matt Ryan being that guy. I don't know what to expect from this team, honestly. And with AJ McCarron going down, they did bring in Josh Rosen, which excites me because I'm still holding out for Rosen to kind of show up and show out for somebody. But Miami, I don't trust offensively, and Atlanta, I don't trust at all. I wouldn't be surprised if they're picking in the top 5 again next year because they're just kind of dicking around and not doing what they need to do, and understanding that Matt Ryan is just not that dude anymore, and they need to send him to Washington and find themselves a young quarterback and move on from there. It's only preseason, but the Carolina Panthers have to figure out something. I think they need to figure out a lot of things, honestly. They seem to kind of struggle and sputter a little bit offensively. Not to say it was Sam Darnold's fault, but it just seemed like they could never get it going how they wanted to. Baltimore looked like they're still doing what they want to do, and they're still doing old news stuff. So we'll see what happens with Baltimore comes regular season, but Baltimore doesn't frighten me. I think they're still going to be the same exact team. I'm not sure if Lamar's gotten any better, but it's only preseason, so give it time. It's only preseason, but once again, like I've said with several other teams, I'm not sure what Detroit is offensively. Granted, it's going to be Jared Goff and DeAndre Swift and some of those guys out there, and hopefully they can get going, but I'm not sure what they have at the wide receiver position. Their offensive line could possibly be decent and work out with Penei Sewell being right tackle and Taylor Decker being there at the left tackle position. It could end up being something solid, but I'm really unsure what Detroit is defensively and offensively. And I don't think it's any slight against Dan Campbell or anything. I think this is just their first year, and I think eventually it'll all start clicking. But I think as of right now, as of today, it's 2021. The Detroit Lions don't really frighten me that much, but I think eventually everybody's going to start to settle into their roles one way or another, and then they're going to become a decent playoff team. Not this year, but maybe a year, possibly 2 years. I could see Detroit being in the mix if they stay on this path, because it seems like they're willing to try and experiment with things. But it's going to take some time. It's going to be a learning curve for sure. It's only preseason, but Big Ben looks like to be old school Ben. Like he looks like he's slinging that thing. He was taking some shots. He was actually taking care of the ball. He's pushing the ball down the field, something that we didn't get to see a lot from him last year. So that was pretty exciting. Other than that, Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be a tough out in the AFC. I really think that if that defense has more experience now together, more chemistry together, that youth is starting to actually turn that corner into that experience side on the defense. And then offensively, I think they got plethora of weapons. They're the equivalent weapons to the Chiefs, if not better. They showed that they got some dudes out there, especially at the tight end position. They got plenty of receivers. If Najee Harris can find a way to go, I think the biggest concern that I have with this team, and as I think everyone else has, is their offensive line and what's that going to look like once the season really starts to kick off. And I don't think it's a chemistry thing. I think it's just lack. But eventually they'll get there. Let's see. We're going to talk about some other games. I didn't really get to see the Tampa and Tennessee game, so I'm not going to talk too much on that. This right here, the Cowboys. Now, I did watch Hard Knocks, and I did watch this game. I watched them in this game, and it's only preseason, but there's no way in hell the Houston Texans should beat the Cowboys, and that should be concerning because the Cowboys have. The Houston Texans just seem like an expansion team again to me. Like, there's nothing exciting about that team right now at all. Zero excitement. And the Cowboys struggle. Now, granted, I think their backup quarterback threw like 3 interceptions, and they struggled a little bit. But I don't know what to think of the Cowboys anymore. They have all this talent, especially on the defense side of the ball, and it just seems like it's just not molding together. It seems like it's kind of like they're trying to force it to be something, and it doesn't seem like it's working really well for their favor. So, but it's only preseason. But we'll see eventually what the Dallas Cowboys wind up doing. They kind of worry me. It kind of concerns me a little bit. Let's talk about the Broncos Seahawks. Now this game, I think because of the quarterback situation in this game, I still want Drew Lock realistically, but it's only preseason and Teddy B is balling right now, just a little bit. And I think, granted, once again, it's only preseason, but I think that Teddy Bridgewater is ultimately going to hold this team back from being to that next level. Now we've seen Teddy be in Minnesota and be considered a conservative backup kind of quarterback, Alex Smith, if you will. We've seen him last year with Carolina and be in that same role. Now they've come out and announced that Teddy Bridgewater is the starting quarterback, and I feel like just like in Chicago, I feel like it's the safe move. I feel like I'm playing it safe. I'm not gonna try to push my cards to the table. I'm not gonna bet on any guys. I'm just gonna take the safe route, and hopefully my defense can bail me out. And it's the exact same thing that's happening in Chicago right now, and that's really how I feel about that. But it's only preseason, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. And the last game I want to talk about is the New Orleans Saints and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now this game was on Monday night. It was a really good game actually. It's only preseason, but I think that LASIK eye surgery did wonders for Jameis Winston. That man was throwing some decent balls. He was taking his shots down the field, and they actually did a little breakdown on some of his plays and show that where he just took the right throw. It wasn't the best throw in his mind probably, but it was the right throw for the team. And he didn't take any forced shots or anything like that, but he did take his shots down the field. And it's kind of messed up because everybody I think quietly wanted Jameis to get the job, but at the same time it felt like Taysom Hill had never had a true chance because he was in there with the second and third string. And Taysom, like, bro, if you want to see me at my best, and I've said this several times on my channel, if you want to see somebody at their best, give them the best quality product so they can give you the best product. Go give them the best ingredients so they can give you the best product. And it's kind of sucky because Taysom Hill didn't have that fortune. Like he wasn't that fortunate to have those ingredients to give him the best chance to show him his skill set. And whereas Jameis Winston did, and so it kind of sucks, but I think it reminds me of something a while ago, like a long time ago. We at a job, we didn't promote a person at a position because we liked what he was doing in his current position. How he helped us in his current position was very effective. We just didn't feel like that he could be any better if we even promoted him. Like, we end up losing somebody at that position, and I feel like that's what it is, if that makes sense at all. I think that quietly Sean Payton wants Taysom Hill to be a starting quarterback, but he knows if Taysom Hill is my starting quarterback, I don't have Mr. Do-It-All. I don't have the Army Swiss knife. I don't have this wild card offensive weapon kind of guy anymore. I don't have this guy that could line up as a running back and I could do a running back or a halfback pass and it'd be on point. Like, it takes away the mystique and the mystery of my offense. So we're gonna go with the more traditional passer just because of that. And so it's unfortunate because Taysom Hill had so much success in that flex offensive weapon role that I think that's what's going to wind up ultimately hinder him from becoming a starting quarterback, in my personal opinion. So that's all I had for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. There were some games I didn't talk about because I didn't watch them, because mainly there was no one starting or anyone that I was really paying attention to. But if there was a game I didn't talk about and you guys did watch, let me know what was the only preseason moment in that game, and I'll definitely be looking out for that comment, and I'll have to go back and probably watch the game just for that reason. But that's all I had. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Like I said, it's only preseason, but we got one more week to go, and then we got a little short bye week before the season kicks off, and it's really exciting. So I'm kind of pumped up. I definitely hope you guys are too. And if you are not a footballologist, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go and hit that subscribe button today. Become a footballologist. Stay safe, football fans.